Howdy, 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 everybody, and welcome to the iGPFun Formula 3 series presented by Virtual Racing School here at lovely Road America. I'm Austin Knight. I am joined by Marco Bobanera, and you're here watching Apex Racing TV. Marco, how are you feeling about today? It's time to turn it up to 11 with our favorite series, iGPFun.
For a second, I thought you were about to say, and you're watching Botchamania. But, you know, that was, you had the same... I assume you know what Botchamania is, but...
I love Botchamania.
We are here for much higher quality content, even though we love Botchamania, with less botches and more great racing. You know, this series, I've said it many times, always delivers better showing than what we see on Saturday in the officials that we also broadcast, no?
And the Saturday official series was extremely good, too.
It was amazing. The race yesterday was absolutely amazing, and so I have incredibly high expectations for this race. We have a lot of drivers that surely want to confirm their performance from yesterday, drivers that want to look for redemption from yesterday. Drivers that were unlucky, and this racetrack proved once again why I think it is, in my opinion, as a meager European driver. We usually in Europe we look to American tracks with superiority, but no, I think American tracks are amazing, and this is by far my favorite North American track. It's so complete, so beautiful. All kinds of corner, beautiful scenario, and it showed yesterday, it will show again today, in my opinion.
It's a very challenging track to master, but very fun to race at. Drafting here is going to be very important, and mastering of these corners and staying behind cars and knowing when to take a move and just staying behind another car when chasing another pack is going to be very important. And since this track is a lot of 2x2 action, knowing the iGPFun guys, I'm expecting a lot of cars to finish this race. Not a lot of crazy dive bomb moves like you will be seeing in official racing here. All these people know how to race, and they race to a code of cleanness and respect. And we've been having extremely clean races. And for about the 5 incidents we had last week at Detroit, 2 of them were caused just single car spinouts.
Yeah, it was incredible, the beautiful showing we had in Detroit last week. Drivers were behaving absolutely fine. Last night in the officials, every lap there was an overtake going down to turn 5, and it was mostly clean racing. So certainly these drivers have had a lot of time to practice their overtakes into turn 5 yesterday, and those who were not here, I'm sure they've done plenty of practice, Austin. And in these final 2 minutes of qualifying, we are seeing these gaps that might seem big, but every time we race here, I always remember the very first book that Alex Zanardi wrote, and the first time he came here with Chip Ganassi Racing, his race engineer told him, if you are like 0.6 of a second away in this track, it's like being 1/10 of a second away somewhere else. Its track is so long, so difficult, and these gaps, of course, will tend to be, they will become more and more tighter and tighter because of the draft during the race.
The draft during the race and the ability to race extremely close in these Formula 3 cars. Not a lot of dirty air being popped off of them like the Formula 3.5 car. And so they're able to follow nose to tail with each other throughout the entire lap. And they can do that for a while as Gianfranco Pagotto parks it across the line as he currently sits up on provisional pole. As we look at Francisco Miola and a few other drivers as well. And I know a few drivers there running a few new paints, and some of them got new sponsors. They definitely want to be making their sponsors very happy about that right now. As Rickard Bachberg, as he comes across the line, and yep, that is one of the new sponsors. Looks like someone put their logo here.
I'm I'm not joking. I'm refreshing the livery, so there is a big white car. Okay, now now it's back, and we can see the slow motion of this beautiful sponsor that I'm sure is going to make the sponsor owner very happy. We got Matt Tingley on the start finish line. He improves up to 20th from 38th. There's also Dirk probably, but I'm afraid he's on an out lap. That is quite correct. So he's not going to improve. Antonio Teyes is not on an out lap, he's on a fast lap. And he's been improving in the second half of his circuit of North America. Let's see, here we go. No improvement unfortunately, but Francesco Meola could sneak into the top 3, the VRS Wave Italy driver. Here we go, onto the start-finish line, but he opts to jump into pit road, Austin, so that's going to be it for him.
Yeah, that pit road very enticing for incidents as well, especially in endurance races, but that pit road's so fun. This final straight is just so fun as well. Coming up this hill, over the crest, you see the line, and if you're in a draft fight, it's very possible to see a race to the end coming out of that final corner as Cardetti going up into 15th right there. Andrea is up into 33rd right now, and this field is absolutely this field is absolutely packed. 60 cars on the grid here for today.
You see, Austin, that's another thing I love about North American racetrack. The start-finish line is as far as away as possible. You see, in Monza, we were there for the spec racer half an hour ago. You have that massive straight, but the start-finish line is the finish line. No, the start line is where it should be. The finish line is at the beginning of the straight. And so if you have like a side-by-side battle, it's over immediately. Not here. We had some fantastic. I mean, if you remember, well, you were not in the commentary box, but there was the first ever round of the second season of the Apex Racing Academy F3 Super Series a few months ago. We were here, and like we had 2 heat races, a consolation, and a main event, and I think 3 of the 4 races ended with a side-by-side fight for the lead across the start-finish line.
Yeah, and they definitely need to put an option for Monza to have a correction on the start-finish line, you know, where it should be, not at the beginning of the grid. I'm not sure why they're at the beginning of the grid. I'm pretty sure it has to deal with some politics and stuff. I'm gonna have to blame Ferrari for this.
I don't know if you remember, but when they were on the old Imola configuration, the one with the chicane at the very end, no? And Magny-Cours, they basically both have a chicane at the very, like, they have a chicane as the last corner, and in both racetracks, the old Imola and modern day Magny-Cours still, the start-finish line is basically the moment you come out of the chicane. It's stupid. By the way,
it is ridiculous.
Starting grid.
All right, 60 cars up. Gianfranco Pagotto takes pole on Alex Dunn by 1/10 of a second ahead of Max Bartola, Francesco Meola, Thiago Marto, Bremslaw, PS9, Luca Ferrari, Max Giacchino, Ben White, Dave Martin, Michael Podesek, Stuart Millen, Fernandez Goras, Victor Barres, Vincenzo Carcecchi, Lucas Lackner, Daryl Governor, Bartosz Grzeski, right behind him, followed by Luciano Lorenzo, Matty Hingley, Lucas Maruk, Chuck Morrow, Christian Glamsetter, Philip Lucas, Andy Flint, Will McIntyre, Rickard Bogberg, Mark Mathis in 28th place. Behind them in 29th is Zolta Zomotor, Daniel Jutso, Phil Waller, Samuel Hermer, Andrea Bichetti, James Abbott, Ron Korlak, Zachary Beeson, Thomas Bonacaria, Lucas Zayner in 38th place, followed by Ron McGuire, Alex Hopkins, Adam Talsma, Giovanni Saletta, Dirk Provley, Antonio Ruzeski, Clemens Bunzengruber, Richard Veen, JJ Gonzalez, Antonio Tellez behind them, with Patrick Wollens, Sean Barrett, Kuchiaido, Johnny Coco, Russell Kirkwood, Johan Bergerson, James Luis, Reed Dennis, Andrew Morris, Nick Arnoldson, followed by Martin Devine, and at the end of the grid is Alexander Roggenbuck. All the drivers put in a time to start here, and now we see the cars lined up here at Road America and down the hill and almost all the way to the exit of the final corner.
Poor qualifying for Herrera.
I can tell you,
only down to 30 seconds.
I can tell you one thing. If you do a clutch start in this, hold the brake. Well, let's go. 5 red lights are coming on. It's time to have some fun here at the F3 as it's green for the iGPFun-F3 series here on Apex Racing TV. It's a great start by Alex Dunn. He's already beside Gianfranco Pagotto as they race toward the line 2 by 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 2. And heading into turn 1, Pagotto stays in front of Alex Dunn, followed by Bartolo, Miela, Marto, Piesnak, Ferrani, Giacchino, Martin, White, Milan, Podesek, Corres, Barros, Governor, Lackner, Brzezinski, Lorenzo, Higley, Morrow, Glenson, Lucas Flint, and McIntyre, your top 25.
As Austin takes a little, mouthful of oxygen, trying to, get back into a working state, we go to turn 5 for the first time. Oh, locking the brakes there was Marteau trying to get past Meola. Cannot do that side by side for the lead for a second, and there is a car going the wrong way. It's Lucas Lackner and Ty Govender.
As Alex Dunn trying to get past Pagotto immediately. Pagotto holding down the inside line. Dunn looking on that outside. He's setting it down the inside into my favorite corner of the world because I cook so much bratwurst right here. Alex Dunn, the Irishman, up in the first.
Alex Dunn was having a fantastic battle yesterday. Unfortunately, took evasive action to avoid crashing into another driver at turn 5 towards the end of the race. Went off. And
oh man, speaking of going off, Ben White just went rocketing off at the end of the carousel.
Oh,
and
no,
the king
with a massive wreck.
Corres, the Spaniards involved in that's Corres. Barely over
the track.
He's in the middle of the track. There's another incident right behind him.
Massive wreck in the back.
Massive incident in the king.
Oh, another one. It's Samuel Ermer and others. Maruk, Dalsma, Zomodor.
The duck is out. The duck. No.
Man, that was brutal.
Oh, no.
A lot of good cars got involved there. 3 separate wrecks. In the backstage, we go side by side for the lead once again, Austin.
Side by side for the lead, and here we go. Still, Pagotto and Dunn still go, and a little bit off track. That's Piesnak off the track. But Alex Dunn and Gianfranco Pagotto side by side, and they're joined by Max Bartola as well. And I'm happy to announce both cars that I sponsored were not involved in there, so. Alex Dunn holding on that outside line, Bartola on that inside line. Just on that outside line head of Pagotto. Pagotto holding that inside line up. Pagotto goes up, down low. Pagotto stays in second place, followed by Bartola right behind him. So yeah.
Oh, here we go, Bartolotta. Massive dive, takes the position.
Right at Bratwurst corner, just like his teammate of Alex Dunn, Gianfranco Pagotto. And now the Squadra Corsa cars are first and second.
Oh, do you hear the new diesel F3 engine? I sure can.
You know, I think they put a jet engine in there. I think we now know what engine flies the three cars. But getting the speed on the straight, Gianfranco Pagotto swings it around the outside of Bartola as they continue to go racing as Gianfranco Pagotto is trying to now catch up to Alex Dunn as Pagotto is followed by Bartola, Mayola, Marto, Miola, Verardi, Martin, Giacchino, Milan, Piesnak, Podesek, White, Hinkley, Grzeski in your top 14.
Okay, now it's back to a proper engine.
Yeah, now it's actually back to the actual.
Here we go, Bartolotta. Oh, there is a lapped car there, and of course, when they come out of the pits, they basically impossible not to go in the middle of the road there. Look at the traffic. All the cars involved in that mess at the start are now taking their tow, and now they're faster. They're back onto the track, and it's Rome at 5 p.m. in the afternoon.
And here it's 3:41 in the afternoon here in lovely Texas, as everyone here is getting ready for a Super Bowl party, and I just had family members walk into my room being like, what the heck's happening in here? Because they didn't know I did this. Surprisingly.
Maybe they thought the Super Bowl had already started. Sorry, the big game. The big game. We are not the big game at the end of the season. We cannot say
my
that.
sister, who doesn't live here, she was visiting over. She's like, what the heck's coming out of Austin's room?
You know, or as I like to call it, the superb owl. You know?
Oh, you're funny. Smack Bartola still sitting in second place with Giacchino. Gianfranco right behind him. I'm not sure why I said Giacchino.
Because he's there, you know, he's lurking in the background.
Oh, there is Giacchino.
And they go side by side, and it's contact.
Canada corner. Someone got on me for saying Canadian corner before, but two cars off at Canada corner.
It was Dave Martin and Ron Korolak. And Bartolotta,
Yeah,
Bartolotta! Where is he?
Off in the far corner, off in the exit. He's pointed the wrong direction, got off into the grass, it looks like. And looks like a little bit of overcorrection. That's a very sharp exit by him. If you just look at the tire marks coming off of that curb, and he's trying to make a 3.2 right in front of traffic. And no.
That was not a good rejoin.
Oh my goodness.
My. Drivers tonight have been betrayed not by their driving, but by their rejoins. Some of them, they were not very willing rejoins, as the two DRS cars almost come into contact with each other, Pagotto and Meola. Bartolotta here, you know, could have been a bit more careful.
Well, I think we can reset the 1,572 laps without a serious accident back down to 0.
Yeah.
Gosh, that was the worst accident I've seen at Road America ever since the Trans Am car of last year had that massive flip coming over that crest.
And what is absolutely
really wasn't a bad accident. It was more of an impressive accident because he landed on his wheels and kept going for a few more meters.
Wasn't that like a historical event, not trans? I remember I was reading an article.
It was at a Trans Am event, but it was a historical racing at a Trans Am.
I remember I was reading an article which I think was, oh god, a little bit of traffic in front of Pagotto. I was reading an article about that very car, about you know, all the work that the owner went into restoring it 2 days earlier, and then 2 days later when I saw the wreck, I said it can't be that car, and it was that car. It broke my heart.
Yeah, Alex Dunn leading by 4 seconds as Gianfranco Pagotto and Francesco Meola just trying to catch up to him, but I feel like this race is going to be one of attrition as off the track is the 57 of Meola, and now looking down the inside is Thiago Marto, the Team Shoe driver, trying to look down the inside, but it's not going to be working out for him as Luca Ferrari, your favorite driver on the grid, is sitting up there in 5th.
Yeah, but there is no one behind him, so we have to look forward on his car, and he's got the premier seat of this fight in front of him, and here we go. Marto goes on the outside, Meola is the inside, side by side. Varani wisely lifts.
Yeah, if I was behind these two, I would definitely be lifting and taking my time with this, as when you're behind two cars that are going side by side, they're already going to be slow, but if one of them makes a move, you could try to follow that car back down the inside and get yourself a little freebie right there, as Varani is now behind Meola. And he's looking to make a move coming out of the carousel right now.
So, as I was saying before the madness began, yesterday Alex Dunn was in the elite pack for the entire race with a few laps to go. He had to take evasive action at turn 5, went wide, and inexplicably got rear wing damage, which caused him to fall back, and then he was wrecked in the final lap here at Canada Corner by an overambitious move by another driver. So today he's redeeming himself, so to speak. 4.3 seconds already, you know, everyone behind him is having an argument, but as you can see, he's enjoying. Oh, and look at that.
Oh, that could have got my life flashed before my eyes, and I'm not even in the race. One of the cars at the back of this grid got into the grass of the braking area and then shot across the track.
It was
and we've all seen those horror stories.
Yeah, it was Pieniasek that together with Giacchino and Milne have joined this party. Of course, because the guys in front are fighting, and therefore the speed, as you were saying, are slower. So now there is a big fight here. Actually, Pagotto is slightly pulling away from this mess, as you can see, as Lucas is around.
Oh, little Lucas just off in the kitty litter right there. Drops back, and he's back on the track, right, unfortunately, onto the racing line, but thankfully not in a giant pack. And, well, the main pack's quickly dispersed with all the stuff going around them. And I feel like if we bring up our dancing dots to Doom, you won't see 60 cars up there. I think we only have about 40 on track right now. Because the diesel engine has now been replaced by an actual engine.
Yeah. People asking why no replays it, because there is no time to go. Because if we go to the replay, you can make sure that the top 10 will all fall into a hole on the track, and we're going to miss.
It's happened every time we've gone for a replay. Something has happened, and when you have 60 cars on the grid, you're going to miss something like this. As Luca Ferrari and Miola going to go side by side, heading into Canada Corner. Down the inside goes Luca Ferrari, and he's up into 4th place.
Fantastic stuff from Varani, up to 4th now, and he's
fantastic sponsor as well.
He's got the best sponsor on the grid, and he's now trying to pull away from Meola. Not going to be easy, but as you can see, the moment you can get away from the pack, you can really create a gap. Look at Marteau and Pagotto, what they've of course done. So Varani will look to do the same. As look at Pagotto, fastest lap of the race. The gap is 4 seconds. It's still a big gap, and here we go with Max Giacchino on the inside. He's still
that's ambitious. Woohoo! Very tight, but he's made that one work. Max Giacchino just holding down that inside line on Miola. Stuart Miller going to try to make it work down the inside as well, but Premslav Piesnik around the outside. He's going to have to speed down that straight. And a little bit of trap to help us. He's going to have that inside line as we're underneath the Real Cheese People Bridge here, heading up into turn 3, or what Road America calls turn 5.
So a speed for Gretzky in the back, but we stay on this fight because it's amazing. And I think only no one else was involved in that self-spin from Gretzky. Great driving from everyone, Austin. So let's see a lap time comparison while we're at it. Interesting stuff. So Pagotto with clean air. Look how much he was losing when he was fighting, and look now in... Okay, now it's back to a diesel engine in this part of the track.
Hey, you know, there's trees all over the place as the signal gets weak, and... Okay, we've turned into Formula E.
This is Formula E now. Yes.
E. We went from diesel to regular, and now everybody, welcome to Formula E. No, this is not even Formula E. You don't even get the whirling. This is Formula H, hydrogen.
Oh man, here comes Potoshek going on the inside, or trying to go on the inside of Milne, but Milne is able to keep the position. Great scrap this one with Ben White following very closely as they go on the start finish line once again. Let's see the time comparison.
Oh no, Glamsetter's had an issue. He's just fallen down multiple positions, and I think he might be off the track. Glamsetter just dropped out of the top 25 off in Canada Corner,
Is he missing his front wheel? No, or it only seems like just he went off.
Yeah. It blends in. Ooh. Kicking up a bit of dirt from Real as he's trying to catch up to Luca Ferrari. The one thing I love about the series is we see so many things that we don't usually see. Massive grid, very, very close racing, and we get to break iRacing in a way as well, which is always fun.
White with his beautiful livery looking as Potoshek on the outside of Milne, on the inside the Scottish driver. As they still are side by side as they go under the Corvette bridge, where I smashed a car in my first ever racing enduro way back when, in 2015.
I wasn't on your team, so you can't blame that one on me.
No, it was me. There's no one to blame but me.
But now every time we crash a car within an hour, you always blame it on me.
Here we go, side by side again. Oh, hello there.
Surprise. Hello, Hingley. Hingley, where did Hingley go? Hingley, calm down, man. 2 spots in 1 corner.
I wasn't expecting him, you know.
I don't think anyone's expecting him. It just appeared out of nowhere. And Hingley, well, he's going for the 3rd one. He wants to lead this pack. Matty Hingley, putting everyone on notice right now. He's looking down the inside, heading into Canada corner. Booyah, boy. Hingley up into 8th.
A new name, if I'm not mistaken, in the series, at least this season. And he is plus 12 in his race so far, and now looking to pull away from this pack. We have also another nice battle pack here with Greleczki, Boberg, Lorenzo, all drivers who have had issues at some point in the race. Phil Lucas, of course, his spin. Zach Bison also, I think, had an issue. Zanier as well, the Italian driver, as they go side by side between Flint and Lucas.
Yeah, nice draft pack. Looks like Boberg is not close enough to make a move, as Lucas and Flint are side by side right now, trying to follow these 3. Andy Flint, he's just going to tap the brakes just a little bit more and let Lucas on by down low, because it's only lap 9 out of 23. So it's a very long race here.
Extremely long race, considering a lap is around 2 minutes every time. Once again, Potoshek and Milne. This time is Potoshek on the inside.
Very easy on the brakes because Potoshek. It's a little bit deep, but he didn't want to risk anything going out wide. You know, with the amount of incidents we've had today, I think it's best just try to see if you could just make the car finish here today, because we have a lot of drivers up 20+ spots in the midfield.
Boberg on Greleczki again. Greleczki and Potoshek teammates, of course, as you can see that their Evolve livery goes on the inside. The driver from Sweden as they go side by side, and now once again back to single file into the kink. I think this place is called the Kettle's Bottom, this part of the track. I don't know, I'm not, you are the expert, of course. As you live basically, you know, compared to me, you are basically living next door to this track.
I don't know if you know on how close Texas is compared to Road America.
No, but compared to me. I said compared to me, to where I live now. You are basically next door to the track.
I'm nowhere next door to this track.
I know.
Now, if you're at Coda, I could go out there and walk onto the track while commentating on the track, basically. As Bogberg looked down the inside, but Gersmeski just chopped the nose off on him right there and able to stay ahead, and they're followed by the Rocket Turtle himself, Lorenzo. And that is a helmet.
Ooh.
Lorenzo.
Let's see Luciano Lorenzo's helmet. Are we seeing the same thing?
I believe so.
Are you using the paint pack or trading paints?
I'm using the paint pack.
Strange, I see a normal helmet.
It's basically a turtle.
Oh, okay, maybe. Oh, you're right, of course. Yeah, there it is. Amazing stuff.
You know, when a theme of a car fits in with the entire spot of the other car, it's a full-on turtle. And I just looked at the stream. You are not seeing what I'm seeing.
Okay, which is strange. Maybe you.
Then again, I do forget to change trading paints to close trading paints when I load into a session. So I do get some custom helmets.
Oh, we're back to Formula E.
No, yeah, dude, yeah, get that soft word. It's only on Alex Dunn's car, though. Every car we've ride on board has a normal engine, except for Alex Dunn.
Maybe Alex is telling us something we don't know, as you can see the lap time this time around identical, but the trend is certainly in favor of Pagotto, but Pagotto needs to make a move because...
Are you implying something?
Me, no. Italian teams are known for their spotless record. Ferrari, for example, you know?
This is true.
They were not cheating in the past 2 or 3 seasons in F1. No, they were just bending the rules. No, all jokes aside, it only does for example, Spec Racer we have 60 cars, but I think it's because of the old damage model, so it doesn't do anything like this. New damage model cars, I don't know if we need to check if it does the same with the ARLTC on Thursdays.
No, we might find out on Thursday if it does that, but we're just right on board with the car. Shouldn't do that, as that was Grosicki off the track right there, as Ben White currently sitting in 11th place, looking at Lackner right behind him as he's trying to catch out the Podozek, who's passing Will McIntyre right in front of him. As Grosicki is going, oh, that's a very mangled wing.
He's very slow, very, very slow. Let's see if we can get a close-up. Yep, that car has seen better days.
Yeah, that first lap here was just insane, especially through that kink, and you know, it kind of makes me glad that this track does not have automatic safety cars. I know any incident where you should have an entire track blocked should call out a safety car, but road courses don't really do that. So that's kind of the bad point of this track. Like, only in that section I think a safety car should come out at, and it should just let you know, hey, something bad happened here, because there's literally no avoiding anything that's happened in that area.
By the way,
it's the narrowest part of the track.
Another record for Pagotto, 58.31, as Grechki goes into the pits to get some repairs. Gap down to 3.2 seconds.
As the Formula E car trying to hold off Gianfranco Pagotto, it's just his car.
Yeah.
We just literally had a side-by-side comparison. And, ooh, big curb strike for the 21 of Ben White right there. Trying to hold it around the outside, but Dave Martin looks down the inside. Good move down low, and Martin's up into 12th place.
Here we go, once again on the attack is Ben White. And he goes wide.
Off into the gravel.
Yeah, mistake there from Dave Martin. Ben White and Chuck Mauro make the move, stick, and Martin has to fall down temporarily down to P14, but he wants to get the position back, at least one. Let's see.
You know, he's probably smelling the bratwurst being cooked in that infield area, and you know, it's just a hypnotizing smell. It just smells so good. Down the inside into Canada corner. No nonsense style, just straight up into there, and a great move. But now look at Morrow trying to hold it around the outside, and he had a look, not going to go for it. Gianfranco Pagotto, another fastest lap of the race.
Let's see the gap now down to 3 seconds between the pair of them, the two leaders, as once again Chuck Mauro tries to get the position back. These two drivers fighting against each other. They are helping Ben White massively. Ben White has checked out, and you know, a few corners ago he was deeply into this mess. And in the meantime, Phil Lucas and Zach Bison and Luciano Lorenzo, no, he's too far behind. Sorry, Phil Lucas, no. Ah no, those are all lapped cars. I'm sorry. Forget I said anything.
As we look at this battle for 39th place between Roggenbuck and Thuelis, let's just bring up my favorite part of this broadcast. As we're about only have 10 laps to go, let's bring up those dancing dots of doom.
There they are.
60 cars out there on track will start of this race, and about 50 remain. As Alex Dunn silently drives his Formula 3 car in the kettle's bottom. I'm sorry, some of these names at some of these courses are just hilarious. Personally, my favorite corner in all of America happens to be at VIR, which I cannot say it actually, but you know, if you watch, what is going on with this car?
This is throwing me for a loop, Austin. This is so strange.
I'm trying to commentate normally that this is not an unusual occurrence, but this is the most unusual thing I've ever heard.
You know, it usually happens, It usually happens to every car or to no car, and usually at the beginning it's like this, and then well, no, at the beginning it's quiet. At the beginning it's quiet, and then after a few laps, a few retirements, volumes for all cars are back to normal. But for Dan, in this case, not only it's not quiet, it's silent, and it's only him. So yeah,
it's full on Formula E. I don't know if he streams or not, but if he does, I would love to watch his onboard and just see if that happens with him, if he knows it's silent or not. And we also have a cone in the middle of the track. As Beeson trying to make a move on the Rocket Turtle of Lorenzo, but I gotta be honest, Beeson, you're up a creek without a paddle. That Rocket Turtle has got rockets on the back of him. He's so quick down a straight line. But it's also a turtle. So it's kind of negating factors right there. But Lorenzo looking down defensively, heading into turn 3. And the Rocket Turtle puts up a good defense down low. As Beeson trying to hold it around the outside. Very wide off. There's made some gains on the Rocket Turtle right now. They're side by side, but Lorenzo stays in 16th. Also last time by Gianfranco Pagotto, another fastest lap of the race. Lorenzo holding down that inside line, still in the carousel. Beeson all over his gearbox right now, heading into the kink. And here we go. Beeson makes his move down the inside. It's going to be a drag race heading into Canadian quarter. Side by side they go, heading in to Canadian quarter, into the braking zone. Beeson with a big send. Beeson still holding this line. Lorenzo holding his line as well. They're still side by side coming off the exit. Beeson and Lorenzo still side by side as they come out of the force and back up. And Beeson goes very well. Lorenzo holds it off.
Great stuff between these two drivers. Great driving from Lorenzo there as well, as he's able to keep the position. See the situation at the front. Oh, a mistake for Dan.
Oh, and I can hear his car, I think. No, I cannot hear his car. Nope.
Nope.
I heard that.
That is the same corner where yesterday he went deep and unfortunately broke his rear wing, so the first thing I checked was to look at his rear wing. This time it seems to be okay, but if we look at the sector times, Austin, he has lost a bunch. Oh man, we could have a super tasty fight for the victory come the end of the race.
He's been consistently slower throughout the last 10 laps compared to Pagotto. Pagotto is on a tear right now. Just look at the last few laps. 2 tenths, 2 tenths, 2 tenths, 7/100ths of a second, but now he's just lost 7 tenths in one corner for Alex Dunn. That gap is now down to 1.9 seconds for the Irishman. Can Gianfranco Pagotto take it to him right there? The Italian driver versus the Italian car and the Irish driver.
On the start-finish line we go. Let's see the gap now.
It's going to be even more than 7 tenths. I'm going to say about 8 tenths.
Yeah,
9, almost an entire second by Gianfranco Pagotto gained that lap. Now, he does have traffic in front of him as we look throughout the field, as we continue to monitor that fight and other fights around the track right now. We got Beeson, Lorenzo, and Flint. All three of them following each other. Zachary Beeson managing to get around Lorenzo.
They keep passing each other, and now Andy Flint has joined the party. There he is.
I think Flint is just going to watch this. We've seen him be very safe heading into turn 1 as he's following groups, as Lorenzo sends it down the inside and into the lead.
Great move from Lorenzo, but now of course he will have to defend, which is easier said than done. Let's go on his rear wing. You will see the draft so important around this place, Austin.
Yeah, the draft, as you were saying with Alex Zanardi, 6 tenths here just feels like a 10th here, and that is easily shown right now. Lorenzo and Beeson side by side heading into 5. Lorenzo down low and up into 16th. And I've just called that turn 5. Thank you, Road America. You've hypnotized me into getting math wrong.
These drivers continue to fight. Mark Mathis with Adam Talsma. Here fighting for P21. But let's go once again on the start-finish line and see if there has been any progress in the fight for the lead for either Dunn or Pagotto. On the start-finish line, Alex Dunn, 58.3, and 3 tenths lost. Some traffic apparently for Pagotto. You can see he's got a driver in front.
28 ahead of him.
Yeah, that's James Abbott.
Yeah, and I mentioned that at the start of last lap, and James is still there, but Gianfranco Pagotto just has to deal with him. Then it's just him and Dunn. And we've seen Gianfranco and Clean Air just absolutely just destroy that lap time, as out of Talsma and Mathis are nose to tail with each other. So they come over the crest. Mathis taking a very unique defensive line, which is probably like the biggest brain defensive line he could take, just riding in the middle of the track here, because this track is, for most cars, 2x2. And he held down that inside line, and booyah, he's able to keep 21st. But this track is mainly too wide in GT racing. If you hold that middle line, you're basically the widest car in the world. Now, you will get some people try to pull a Nika Heikkinen and drive in the grass for an overtake to get around you, which might cause a massive incident, which then you will be at fault for.
The clips of rolling start wrecks in GT3s at Road America are, you know, iRacing classics.
iRacing classics here, and we kind of had one, and well, not for the rolling start, but just in the middle of the race with that rejoin.
You know, especially because if there is a crash for a rolling start here, and the crash, let's say, happens towards the start-finish line, the guys behind are still going up the hill, so they have no idea what's happening in front of them. So you go, you know, you go past the top of the hill, and then all of a sudden you see a roadblock, and you know, either you crash in the cars in front of you that are blocking the road, or if you slow down, the cars behind you will hit you. So it's you know. Here we go, 0.3 of a second. So he gained back all that he has lost. It's 1.8 seconds now with around 6 laps to go, Austin.
I don't know what people think it is, but apparently the red flashing on air light in my room does not apply to anyone today.
No, I was thinking about buying something like that, you know, to avoid any... But then I realized that the biggest offender of room invasions whilst I'm working is my dog, which I don't think would care.
Insane. My dog just tries to break down the door, but today I'm highly considering it, or just buying a straight up lock for my room. But then again, I have 2 doors, so that's 2 locks I need to buy. But, oh man. As
oh
my
bomb! Gian Zanier.
He said that like he was working for USPS right there. My goodness, that was cross country. Unfortunately, it didn't work for him. He actually didn't even gain a spot, but that was an aggressive move down low to ride on board of Lucas looking at Martin. Heading up to you just see the speed and oh, a little bit of a bump right there.
Pagotto, fastest lap of the race.
157.94 tenths gain, and guess what? He's within draft range of done now.
He's getting closer and closer, Austin. You're absolutely right. I'm afraid that in a couple of laps time we'll have to put all these other beautiful battles in the midfield on the back of our mind and focus on this lead fight.
Yeah, the beauty of the iGPFun series, sometimes the front leads out, but the midfield is always competitive. Lucas and Martin side by side. Martin dipped out of the draft very early, then he got back into the draft because he lost all the speed. Looks like Martin might be running a higher downforce than Lucas. As Lucas holding out inside, Martin goes off into the gravel. I think Martin might be running a higher downforce because when he was off on his own in that clean air, he just couldn't gain any speed. And he was actually falling back behind. He had to get back into the draft. And the draft is just so powerful here. And that is just showing it right now.
Zanier Flint again with Waller.
Zanier has a clean shot into this corner now, and he's going to make that move work and not go off track and out wide. So they continue on, and let's go to the battle that everyone's been asking for. Silent versus Deadly. Can't believe I just said that.
Here we go on the start-finish line for lap 20 that starts right now. It's going to be his personal best 58.1. Ooh, identical lap times, and of course a tie is as good as a victory in this case for Alex Dunn, because it means that you know, situation is the same with one less lap to race. So not the end of the world if the lap times are identical. There is a car in front of them, but apart from that, let's bring up the dancing grey dots of doom. Yeah, pretty much next cars are doing now turn 5, so they might catch up to them, but I'm not sure.
Oh, they definitely want to be catching up to the 52. Because these are the 2 fastest cars out on track, and I'm going to refrain from making any silent engine jokes for the rest of the race. I will attempt it. But Alex Dunn right behind the 44, right ahead of him, and that car is in 52nd place. As Gianfranco Pagotto, well, yeah, that 44 car just pulls out to the side. 2 tenths gain in just that corner. Pagotto is on the tail of Alex Dunn as they head through the carousel.
Here they go. On the kettle bottom and into Canada corner. There's a
there's a crash up in front of them. right in Canada corner. And, oh, man. That might have scared someone. I definitely would have known the yellow flag was out. And thankfully, it was just straight off and not a crazy rejoin. That would have turned this race on its head.
3 laps to go, Austin. Here we go.
Oh, man. I feel those butterflies in my stomach right now. It's getting closer and closer with each lap between these two. 1.3 seconds separates them as they head 3 laps to go here at Road America for the iGPFun Formula 3 Series here on Apex Racing TV.
So from Pagotto's perspective, the battle box is already up. We need to be 1 second behind, 1.5 seconds behind to make the battle box appear, but if you're the car in front, 1 second, it needs to be the gap or less. So here we go, on to turn 5. Gap in this part of the track, despite the draft, is pretty much identical, doesn't change. Seems to me like in this particular section of the racetrack is where Pagotto makes the most of his time. See, 1/10 of a second.
Might be running a slightly higher downforce than Dunn.
Look at this beautiful, I think it's a sunset. You never know with iRacing.
It is a sunset because, yeah, that is the west. That is west. Because Canada corner is that corner that's pointing north, and to the left, that is west.
Thank you for the geography
I'm a walking
lesson.
compass.
I am very jealous of you.
Thank you, Boy Scouts. Not only did it teach me how to skin a rabbit, it also told me where the sun is. You know, I could have solved that easier if I just looked at a clock. 1 second separates them now. 2 laps to go here at Road America as they come under the NTT sign. And now Pagotto is in his mirrors. Alex Dunn might need to be a little scared. 1:57.8 for Gianfranco Pagotto.
That's a fantastic lap. Now the best friend for Dan is going to be lap traffic in the straights, not in the corners. Trying to get a little bit of that sweet draft and try to pull away. You can see the track is getting colder and colder because everyone is setting personal bests. Despite being at the end, you know, we are past the duration of an official race, so the tires are in a bit of a tough spot, but you know, track getting colder and colder, and so drivers are getting faster and faster, and of course a little bit less tracks, cars on the track. Look at the sun reflection on that part of the racetrack, absolutely lovely.
Yeah, beautiful sun here. The sun's always beautiful, but reflecting off of these cars, even if they have just a matte finish on them, is just pristine. As that lap car not wanting to just throw away this fight, Pagotto takes a little bit too wide for that corner. But this is where Pagotto gains all that time back in the carousel. I have a feeling he is running a higher downforce car than Alex Dunn.
But still, see us in 1 second, the gap is still heavily in favor of Dan. He needs to be closer, Pagotto, if he wants to create something in this final lap. A mistake from Dan or something, because 1 second might not be enough, even with the draft on the backstretch. Let's see. It's just 1 lap left between these two warriors. Dan was able to build his advantage in the first few laps when everyone behind him was busy fighting amongst each other. Pagotto was the first to escape from that group of cars and started the chase that basically has lasted for the whole race. 1 lap to go, Austin.
1 lap, 9/10 separates them. White flag in the air. Done. Pagotto, nose to tail, of a little bit of space in between, but Pagotto, he's gaining on him. 1/10 gain in just that corner alone. And 1/10 gone in that next corner. So we ride on board. Was that a gear shift? I can't explain this car.
also hear the track announcers. Oh, see, the gap is not changing. This is where he needs to make something happen, Pagotto, or pressure Dunn into a mistake.
Well, Dunn's definitely feeling the pressure right now, but knowing Dunn, it's just very hard for him to even just knock him loose into any mistake. Sure, we've seen some mistakes from him. His only mistake was going wide in corner number 3 as Pagotto just still behind Dunn. Is there still a little bit of a gap between them? Under a second as they head into the Keek. One last time into Canada corner. 2 more braking zones for Dunn. So he gets through there. 1 more for him now. And into the final corner. Alex Dunn comes out of there, running off onto that runoff area. Alex Dunn, the 11th car. Might be a silent car, but he is certainly taking victory here. Alex Dunn wins it at Road America and does it with style by parking it sideways.
Marteau finishes in 3rd. Great race for him. Absolutely fantastic stuff. And then Varani will finish 4th in front of Meola, who I think made a little bit of a mistake because he was very close to Varani. And then let's see, we have another fight here between Waller and Mathis for the back end of the top 20. We got a dive on the inside from the Frenchman, but the American is able to defend with ease. Oh, look at his rear wing.
You knew I was going to do that, wouldn't you?
Here they come.
And he's leaving. He's defending. That wing is screaming, and he's got it. Waller keeps 20th.
Vincenzo Carchedi and Russell Kirkwood also arguing over P25. Here we come. On the start-finish line for them as well. And the Italian seems to be able to hold on to 25th place. We have another fight. Sean Barnett and Patrick Rowlands.
Side by side, there you go. This fight's still not over. Roland's just staying ahead of Barnett, but Barnett, he's going to have a very big advantage. He can just stay on that gearbox. If he gets the better exit out of that corner, he could definitely take it to him, but it's just a better exit by Rollins on Barnett. Barnett's going to still try to take him to the fight, but it's not going to be available as Rollins going to finish in 34th.
And we are waiting for Maguire and Aronson, and I think no one else is missing after them, or maybe not. No, we have Ron Korolak, the Canadian.
Korolak.
There he is.
Yeah, it's coming out of that final corner right now.
And he should be the last driver we were waiting for in today's extraordinary round here, as look at that, Dan is basically finishing his parade lap. And now, here we go, the unofficial race results from beautiful Road America. And of course, our winner is Alex Dunn. He beats Gianfranco Pagotto and QT Marteau for 3rd place. Luca Varani finishes in 4th in front of Francesco Meola and Max Giacchino from Italy. Polish driver Przemysław Kniazek finishes in 7th in front of Matti Ingley. Great debut for him. Stuart Mill in 9th, the top 10 is rounded up by Michal Potoszek. Lucas Lackner is 11th in front of Chuck Mauro and Ben White. Phil Lucas, Dave Martin, Zachary Bison, Luciano Lorenzo and Luciano Zanier in P18. Top 20 is rounded up by Andy Flint and Phil Waller, both of them from the United States of America. Then 2 Frenchmen, Marc Matisse and Daniel Justeau, in front of Christian Glemsetter, Adam Tasma, Vincenzo Carchedi, Russell Kirkwood, Victor Barris and Ito-san Koji Ito in P28. P29, Hota Gonzalez in front of Johan Birgersson, Richard Boberg, Bartosz Golecki, Daryl Govender, Patrick Rowlands, Sean Burnett, Rod Maguire, Nick Aronson and Fernando Correas in 38th place. Top 40, is closed by Andrea Brachetti and Giovanni Sellitto, two Italians. Zoltan Zomotor, the top race, finishes 41st in front of Alex Hopkins, James Abbott, Dirk Provely, Alexander Roggenbuch, Clemens Punzengruber in 46th, then Reed Dennis and the Canadian, we just saw him cross the start finish line, Ron Korolak. Another Canadian in Lucas Marouk, then Andrew Morris, Samuel Hermer, of course involved in that mess at the start, Will McIntyre, James Tullis, Martin Devine, Thomas Bonacina, Max Bartolotta, one of the protagonists, unfortunately for him an early shower for the Italian driver, then Johnny Cocco, Antonio Teyes, and last but certainly not least, it was Richard Van Veen and Antonio the Pink Cat Rusevski. Once again, my personal invitation to Antonio to go back to the old livery, because there are certainly some horsepower and some luck missing with this new one.
Or you could call it some purr power.
And Austin, you know, it's was a fantastic race. I have to say that this series keeps on giving exceptional stuff, and I think that we are having Okayama next week, but I might be completely wrong.
You know, next week, as I try to scramble to find the series,
It's Okayama.
It is Okayama. It's our favorite track.
Yay! I always love a visit to Japan, especially Okayama, my favorite Japanese track in the sim. Track that everyone knows, of course, Austin, so I'm expecting a very close field.
It will be a very close field. Okayama is a track that everyone knows. You race it when you first get on iRacing. It's one of the free content tracks, and it just provides such a great area for racing. It's a very wide track, very fun. Not a lot of corners to really master, so everyone is always on top of their game here, and just set up a car is going to be very fun. That massive straight, though, is going to be very key, and we might see some very cool dives heading into that final corner. But thank you, everybody, for joining us here on Apex Racing TV for the iGPFun-F3 series presented by Virtual Racing School. I've been joined by Marco Bobanera. I'm Austin Knight, and I hope y'all have a good night.